This is Jeff Durkin here with We Are Change Connecticut. We're out here after the event Anarchy in NYC with one of the guests, Adam Kokesh of Adam vs.The. Adam, what are you doing out here tonight?
I'm just having a damn good time on this wonderful 420, and it was a blast to have an event like this that sold out, which was a Liberty event with Anarchy in the title. And it's like the movement's supposed to be afraid of that. Like, we're not allowed to use the A word. And it's like, no, this is what it's about. And, you know, it's not the best PR word necessarily, but we came out to celebrate not having any rulers in your life. And it was just awesome to see that we were able to muster this kind of crowd in New York. And I got to hand it to Ian Chiaffi. He does a great job with these events. And, you know, he put Anarchy in the title, and then it sold out. And it's the first Liberty event I've seen in my lifetime, other than, you know, like sub-events or little like panels at conferences and stuff, that was like Anarchy in the NYC. We're doing it, and it was really a beautiful crowd of people that are done playing the political games and want to just spread the message, wake people up, get people engaged. I think that's the primary difference when you get to you know, that phase of going down the rabbit hole, when you go, you know, like I don't need to turn to politics. I don't need to turn to the government. I don't need to ask the man permission for how I'm going to challenge the man. I get to live free now. I get to share what's beautiful to me with other people in the message. I get to empower other people to live like government doesn't exist. And that's a beautiful thing. I got a sense, especially from the crowd here tonight, that this is the future of the freedom movement.
Yeah, like you just said, the future there. Do you see it changing now, a trend even continuing? I mean, you got a sold out crowd here. You just mentioned there, it's more, like you said, it's more towards getting real solutions instead of political ones, which you just mentioned there in your speech as well.
Yeah, political solutions. I mean, it's kind of an oxymoron, but it's, you know, like a Band-Aid on a gaping wound, when what the real solution is changing the paradigm, is making sure people understand what's going on and understand the nature of government and spread that kind of awareness. We are evolving past government, and the movement is evolving too, and you see this. And when you can see patterns, you know, I mean, part of being a libertarian is being able to see the underlying currents, being able to see past the propaganda and the glib way that most people look at the world and society, and the selfish, self-centered, you know, myopic view that most Americans have towards the world in general. And when you start getting that kind of mind for rational analysis, you're able to see the same thing within the movement, and then you see what's happening in the minds of the American people, but accelerated. And if you want to like go 20 years ahead of what you're seeing in the American people, you can look at what's going on in the freedom movement, and you can see how the freedom movement went from constitutional Republicans and minarchists, and, you know, we're like, we want government to be restricted to the Constitution, to like, wait a second, social contract? I didn't sign shit, you know, going to that deeper understanding. And when you see that it's inevitable, this is what's really interesting. Like, nobody goes back. You know, you can become a libertarian if you're a libertarian for the wrong reasons, right? Oh, well, I like freedom. I like less government. It's going to be nicer for me. Well, okay, I could be convinced that a liberal government or a conservative government or a big tyrannical government is going to be better for me because it's out of an expression of superficial preference as opposed to philosophical understanding of the nature of government. And when people get that, even just a little bit, and they go, ooh, maybe we should have less government because freedom is like fundamentally good, and they get that as a principle, then they don't go back. Like, you don't go back to sleep. You don't, and what you see as people wake up, there is a movement going down the rabbit hole together, and it's from like waking up going, geez, something's wrong. Maybe the way that everybody is going around just like everything's cool is kind of crazy. You know, maybe the government isn't really looking out for us. Maybe the mainstream social narrative is totally freaking nuts. And then, you know, that's the start. And you don't go back to sleep from that. You don't like go, gee, society's really messed up. But it's okay. You know, like, it doesn't happen. Then you get involved, then you start thinking, then you start studying. And when you're ready to get rid of all of the cognitive dissonance of statism, of like, well, geez, I'm a little bitch and I need a leader and I need to submit to the collective. You know, you get past that. You don't go back. You never go back. It's a one-way journey down the bottom of the rabbit hole. And now we can see the walls of this hole, and we can see the people coming through it. We can see this massive flow, and we can see that there is an evolution of thought that the freedom movement represents that's happening, and it's spreading. And I think because technology is so empowering to so many of us already with independent media, the technology that we employ, but the awareness especially that's coming out of the internet, that's going to so fundamentally change things. When people are empowered, when they become victims of government and they go, geez, I'm not alone. There are a lot of people whose lives are worse off because of government. I'm not getting my money's worth out of the taxes I pay. And now with the internet, when in the past you would be bullied and you'd be alone and you'd be afraid to speak out, like when you're the victim of bullying. But when you're able to, from the anonymity of the internet, if nothing else, be able to be able to share your story and just get it out, or just the courage of communication that happens on the internet, and you go, geez, I'm not alone. There's a lot of victims of government. Holy crap, I'm not the only one. I'm not in a Barron's case to be embarrassed about. Like, geez, everybody's getting screwed over here. And that's a force of nature. I thought that it would be important to get a message out to the most intense Obama zombies and get them to think, like, okay, so you like Obama. If I don't, is it really appropriate for you to force that choice of a leader on me? You know, and really get them to question the real premises of statism. So we came up with a flyer that was a simple message.
First of all, you were ignoring hundreds of millions of people who were in opposition to the invasion of Iraq. Secondly, you knowingly were printing this information that wasn't verified, yet you did. So to go back 10 years later and say, you know, we're sorry, this mea culpa, it's just absurd, because they were part of the selling the wars.